Ready to go?
Okay. Hopefully it plays the intro. I think we're live now. Sometimes it lags, so oh, whoa, okay, yeah. Okay, great. Hey, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. And for today, the PinkBella ALOHA podcast. And for those of you that are tuned in on YouTube, I'm actually suspended from YouTube right now, but we're not on my channel. You know, if you're tuned in from YouTube, you're tuned in from PinkBella's channel. So I think that's perfectly okay that I'm on her channel. I got suspended again. I really don't want to get into the details, but, if you want to ask me, you can ask me in private or you can ask me on Rumble. I'm not going to talk bad about YouTube because, I don't know why they do the things they do. It's just the suspension made no sense, to be honest with you guys. It made absolutely no sense. But anyway, I'm really excited about my guest. We do a monthly show at PinkBella, and, we're going to get into a lot of really interesting topics today. We're going to get into, drones, plasma, fog, first contact. We're going to get into the 1111 portal, which is my birthday, a little bit more about my guest. PinkBella specializes in deep dives into Akashic and Galactic records for clarity, soul mission guidance, ascension way shower for 5D and New Earth, higher self liaison, quantum multidimensional healer, 12 to 22 chakras and meridian systems, starseed origins and galactic councils, and dragon activations and divine goddess liaison. And with all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome back to the show. PinkBella, thanks so much for coming back on, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Rob. Happy New Year, tribe. Everybody on YouTube, Rumble. I think we're on Facebook and X, so we're grateful to be here. I find it, I don't know, I find it super interesting, Rob, that this happened to you now, because he and I are going to do 2 shows this month, and we're going to do one a couple days after the inauguration. So I'm feeling you're not the only one, right? I'm feeling you're not the only one that kind of got removed from this platform for a couple of weeks, but that's okay. You'll be back, no problem. And we're expanding out. So hi to everybody that we're not usually streaming to. I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a membership with Rumble and Twitter and X because I wanted to start doing X because everybody's saying X is the place to be. Everybody's saying that's where a lot of good disclosures coming out. I know they even have like a targeted individual community like for X spaces over there now. It's like it's amazing. Like X is getting like really like it's so that's why I started deciding to go live on X.
Good. And
I don't post anything.
No, and I was on X, so I'm gonna, because you're doing that, I'm gonna go back on X as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever post. I'm not the type of person to tweet because I don't want to get in like battles with anybody or anything like that. I'll just post these videos and that's it. That's kind of like my thing.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And okay, so there's a couple of other new platforms as well. I think one of them's something blue. So I don't know if you're on that or if you've heard of it, or if anybody in the chat. I haven't joined it. Every month there seems to be like a new platform that comes out. So I'm not part of that, but I know there's a blue one. I know that your Mr. T also has his own like Truth Social platform. So I feel like whatever's getting squeezed right now is going to have to change their tune this year anyway, right? Like the meta products have just changed their tune. So we're moving into new territory. So everyone's going to have to get with the program or they're going to be bye-bye. Bye.
I agree.
Yeah. Where do you want to start, Rob?
Well, you said you wanted to talk about the 1111 portal. That's my birthday. So my birthday is January 11th. It'll be January 11th. I was January 11th, 1980. But like, what is special about the 1111 or the 111?
It seems to be like from the 1st of January every year until the 11th of January. We've got a very powerful star system, planets in different positions, light codes coming in since Christmas from the great solar suns, not only from the Sirius star system, but also from the Palladian system. And it just seems to be a very potent time. It kind of aligns with the New Year's resolutions. Like every day we build up to the 11th. I know you told me your birthday was the 11th before, but I forgot. But also because you're Capricorn. Capricorns are hard workers. And they are determined, like the goat going up the mountain. They are not going to stop. They're going to keep going. it's like the ever ready baddie, right? Keep going, keep going, keep going. So that's your energy. And that's what you're just saying to the universe, going to keep going no matter what, like obstacles get thrown on my path, right? Which is awesome. So, and on that date as well this year, everyone, I'm going to do a separate deep dive because I haven't had a chance to really look into it, but we have something called the lunar nodes, North Node and South Node. We all have them in our chart, and globally they change every 18 months. And this year they're changing on Rob's birthday. They're changing on the 11th. So
Wow.
Aries, the North Node from Aries to Pisces. So I haven't had a chance to look into it, but Pisces is totally different energy. It's very like Aries is very fire, let's get going, truthers community. And then Pisces is more like watery. It's also like this age that we're leaving from. So it's gonna, I keep hearing the song Back in Time from Back to the Future. So I feel like we're gonna be doing like a bunch of cleanup initially, but the energy is going to be there for like 18 months. So I feel like a lot over the next 18 months is just old stuff being brought to the surface to say no to. And as it's already started, because as an example, lots of kerfuffle all over the world with different government bodies, different governments are already changing, falling, things happening in your country, our country, Canada. So
yeah, you had something huge happen in your country. Something
it's
really huge.
It is huge, but it's not really huge because if you read into it, it's not really, it was a faux resignation. So
What's that mean?
It means he didn't actually do it.
Oh, God.
So,
wow.
Yeah, right. But that's okay because I actually, myself and many of us, everyone's so on alert in Canada now, like it's woken up so many Canadians. So I just heard this morning, there's a process right now where people are taking what's happened to court because it's unlawful and it's unconstitutional. They put Canada in a holding pattern at least until March. So it's the worst time ever as your commander in chief is coming in, wanting to renegotiate everything with all the agreements with all the countries. And suddenly I had this vision knocking on
he wants to annex Canada, right? He wants to bring you guys into our country. I
feel it's building from that North American agreement long time ago. Like, I feel like it's because we're the biggest trade partners with each other, right? So I feel like it's building on that. I feel like it's an energetic time, just like in Europe, with the EU. So I feel like that's a potential thing that's going to be put on the plate. But I have to share with you this vision I got. So your Mr. T gets in office, buzzes on the door for a conversation, and there's a little sorry, the country's out right now. We're not available.
Yeah.
So,
well, one thing I wanted to say was like you guys are like it seems like you guys are a lot closer to us than you are with Britain. I mean, I know you guys are under the Queen still, which makes it's crazy. I think you're so far away from her, and like you're closer to the United States.
I feel like everything that's coming to the surface right now for the next couple of weeks is going to bring all this stuff to the surface that's so archaic that no longer serves us. As a trading partner, as a country, as an energy, right? So I've never seen so many Canadians so vocal right now. So that's good. Awesome. That's good. Yeah, it's good. So anyway, we all got excited for 24 hours, but then when we went back to actually listen to it, he hasn't officially left.
Yeah. I was saying the last show with Indy, it seems like there's a lot more of us than there are of normies now. I think because they said Zuckerberg is like starting to remove censorship on Facebook, and I was like, I think that would make sense. They're following trends. The trend is there's more people awake than there are people asleep. I think and more people start to wake up every day.
The awakening is happening on so many different levels. So that's one of the topics today about the UAPs, the drones, and all of that, because that has woken up so many people. It really started to ramp up last November, and then in December, it just went crazy. So it seems like it's cooling off a little bit right now, but not really, but we can talk about that. But I feel like what the collective alliance has decided, both on planet and off planet, was we have to start waking people up now quickly. Like, they can't just be sitting around waiting to find out about New Earth and Ascension. Like, we need to get people on board with, hey, wait a minute. We're in a simulation. There's ships now. there's ships out there in the ocean, right? Like there's ships in the sky, and a lot of people are super excited about that. They're super excited to absolutely, have confirmation that there's life on other planets, which is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. What comes to your mind when you when you hear about these drones and the plasmoids and stuff like that? Because I don't know if you saw my thing. I had a sighting. I had two sightings. I have the drone on film. I was outside
I didn't
smoking
see
and
that.
I woke up and I saw this thing gliding over my apartment and it had like three lights on it. It wasn't like the lights of a normal plane, and it was
Yeah.
making a weird sound, and I knew it was a drone, and I felt right away. I felt like 1984 George Orwell technocratic takeover. But then a couple of days later, I was walking to the store and I saw a plasmoid thing. It was like a shape-shifting UFO, and it was hovering like 300 feet above the BP, and it was like the most crazy thing I've ever seen in my life. And I felt like that was otherworldly, So it was like, and it was. I'm right around like where all this stuff. I mean, I think it's happening all over the world. So, but I mean, it was happening a lot in New York, New Jersey, and I'm right by there in Pittsburgh. So, I mean, but it's happening all over, right? It's like
I don't know why I didn't see did you post it on your private Facebook? Where did you post little videos? Because I didn't see that.
I didn't post the video yet because, like, I was unsure of it, but like, I will post it. I have a really good one of the moon too. It looks like something's hanging off the side of the moon. They're on my phone. I have them saved. Like, I've been just sharing them like privately with people. I'll send it to your messenger because I'd like you to look at it and see what you think first. But I think it was a drone. I really do.
Yeah. So I've been deep diving on this for probably since December. I didn't take as long a break as I normally do because there was so much going on. So I actually did a couple deep dives over the holidays, but I feel like there's a bunch of things going on. So the drones definitely, as you shared, Rob, they make noises. They have blinking lights. So they are man-made. Okay. So the reason all the parties are not agreeing is because you've got a big shift in heads of state coming soon. So nobody wants, so the person coming in can't really say anything because he's not officially in yet. And the other people don't want to say anything. They just want to point the finger and keep everybody confused, like they have been keeping everyone confused. So my understanding is they're private. What I looked into is they're private companies that have built, because actually somebody researched in Canada, like as well as the States, there's patents for them. They found different companies that have created them, right? They're huge. They're like the size of buses, that kind of thing. So I got that they were scanning and searching for things. I also got the message that they're involved with the fog everywhere as well, that they're somehow, we can pull some cards on that too, that they're somehow creating fog in certain areas, like as a cover up. But they're doing multiple things. It's new technology that hasn't been officially announced to the public. But obviously, if there were so many of them, so many nights in New Jersey, flying low over everyone's houses, like the public's going, what's going on? Like why? And and they asked their local governments, local went to federal, and everyone's pointing the finger, going, no, it's not, it's not allowed. Like we don't know what it is. Absolutely, they know what it is. It's new technology. Because and so you saw both. So I love that you saw both. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and basically what I saw of the article in Canada was they have acquired some of these drones from some of the companies that have made them.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I think that was in Ontario and Quebec. So there's lots of truthers out there doing research. Thank goodness for that, because, you and I don't always have time to, we don't always have time to research everything. Right. So what's the connection between the drones and the plasma? So it's absolutely what you shared. So I realized a couple things, and I asked for some information just before we came on. So we're all becoming plasma, actually. Like our physical avatars are becoming light, and that light is becoming plasma. And those are the light codes that are coming through the sun and the great central sun, like connected to the solar flares, connected to the Schumann resonance. Those are plasma rays that we're receiving. So we're upgrading to plasma. So that's a higher consciousness. Okay. I love that you saw. So that was no coincidence, Rob, that you saw a plasma orb. Like they made sure that you saw it because they probably knew you and I were going to be talking about it. So I think that's cool. So I actually too saw a plasma orb in daylight a couple of years ago. That's the video I can't find. So there's a bunch of different UFO types. Like there's more light ships versus like something that we can see that's that possibly was created here as well, but with alien technology, like off-Earth technology. So the plasma orb that you saw that does shapeshift, it is a higher consciousness and it's a higher intelligence. I also got that that they're here as representation of the Galactic Alliance, that they're allowing us to see them now. They're allowing the normal people to see them now. So we all get used to the fact that there's ships in the sky.
I love that.
Right. And then the second thing is that there's not actually conscious beings on these orbs. They're using them to remote view us.
Wow.
Yeah. So they've been there for a while, but we've raised our consciousness. Like there's such a percentage now of people that are awake and asking questions. So they're here for a couple of things. They're monitoring what's going on. They're also sending out a big signal to all the people that are running the show down here, like no funny stuff, right? Like no WW3, no nuclear, none of that. Like we're watching you and we're staying here now. So they're going to keep getting louder and louder. Like more people are going to see them. They're not going to be threatening. They're going to zoom around at night. They're going to hang out over the oceans and bodies of water. And it's going to be a peaceful recognizing that they're not going away now. So the regular folks are going to start to get, just like we see the stars in the sky or meteors or meteor showers or the moon, the sun, we're going to get used to having these other beings in our reality. And they are beings, even though they're light ships. Some of them are bigger than others, but they are conscious. They are consciousness.
One thing I wanted to tell you is I think Courtney Brown agrees with you. Like Courtney Brown from the Far Side, when I had him on my show, he talked about that, and he said he thinks that a lot of the good ETs are here and they're making their presence known. He said they're flashing their lights at people. He said, he wants them to they want people to know that they're here. And one thing I found really interesting was I thought it was interesting that I saw a drone in a orb, because I don't know if you heard me say this too. I have a video saved. It was from Instagram where an orb takes out a drone. So you could see them. They're both occupying like airspace, and the drone comes near the orb, and the orb just like kind of bops it, and the drone just goes, and it just falls down. Like it just falls lifelessly. So it's almost like I want to take that as like the ETs are here and they're not taking shit. You know what I mean? Almost.
Yeah, and they're also like what I got from that. I think I did see that. Someone else posted a video about that as well. I think. Okay, so I think whoever has created these drones are bringing out the technology full force, and they're probably also like scanning. I heard they were scanning and trying to collect data. So they're trying to collect data on land. I got in New Jersey that there's a lot going on in New Jersey and under the earth in New Jersey. So there was a bunch of that going on. So you see some videos of the drones scanning with their lasers, and they're over the houses and they're scanning areas. So they're seeking something, information and whatever, other beings, whatever. Then the other thing is maybe somebody got like in the drone. Let's take the drone over to the plasma orb and see if we can collect data or if our laser will do anything. And so the orb's like, really? Okay, our technology is like way beyond yours. So okay, bye-bye. And of course, I don't believe there's anybody in the drones anyway. I feel like they're all remote controlled as well. So that was really good. That was good. That was a good test for everybody, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. And one thing I wanted to say, what's weird about these drones is I heard a couple things, and I don't know if these can be fact checked or verified, but I heard one that they had these drones out because they said they were searching for some kind of missing nuclear radiation. And then also I've heard that people say that these drones are spraying things, which is making some people sick, which I can't verify those, but these are, I've been covering the drones a lot on my channel, when I was a lot on YouTube, and I'm on Rumble too, but I mean, but I've been hearing a lot of different stories about like different people's theories, and I like James Bartley's theory. He thinks that like these UFOs have just been here for a long time, and that it's a lot of it's like there's a lot of high strangeness involved in it. And Simeon Hines said that too. He said there's
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
feel
high.
like, well, they've got cloaking mechanisms. So I feel like they show themselves to us and then they don't show themselves to us. Kind of like if you and I think about it, wasn't it this time last year we were talking about the aliens at the Miami Mall? Was it this time last
Yeah. We covered
So
them.
isn't
Yeah.
it interesting, like how the year went along and like, boom, we landed to this year and we're talking about, oh yeah, there's plasma orbs in the sky. So there have been people that have been researching these plasma orbs for years. So I got so excited when I actually found out what they were, because I did, like you, haven't seen one recently, but I did see one a few years ago. So they can communicate, they're telepathic, they can hear us, the Galactic Alliance, I just asked them, they said they're at least ninth dimensional or higher, so they're a higher frequency. But the planet has raised the frequency, and there's enough souls that are awake now and conscious. That means that as a collective, we've raised our frequency into a higher timeline. So now we're able to see them. And they also said that they've tested the waters over the last year, a couple of years, but especially this last year, and especially with the not the conference, but the the thing that happened just before Christmas in November with your government, where a lot of people came forward and shared what was really
The
going on.
UAP meeting.
Thank you. Yeah. So that was like planting lots of information for the collective to get used to it. And then it's like after that, like a lot of things started to happen. So I can pull some cards on it as well. Like, what do you want to ask? Do you want to ask like what the drones are doing?
Yeah, let's ask what the drones are doing. Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
And then I definitely want to talk about the drones and the fog, because we have fog here.
Yeah. It's like someone said like the fog is normal, but I think there's something else behind it, because a lot of people are saying it's really thick fog. Some people are saying fog gate, and like like it's like a government thing. Like it's like it's interesting. We got to maybe pull some cards on that too.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm getting goosebumps. So when we ask questions like this, I don't always specifically get like the exact answer, but we get what we need right now. Okay. So overall so the high priestess, so overall the information was hidden from us for a long time, but so many of us, we believe it or not, there's a big percentage of us that have moved into our heart chakra frequency. Even if we're just listening to those frequencies, or we're being kind and we're paying it forward, you know what I mean? That more of us moved into our heart chakra, so that information that was hidden got overwritten so we could see it all. Okay, this is interesting. It says boredom. So even the people that had manufactured the drones were bored. And yes, they got called out. They got called out to go on assignment. And when I looked into it about what you just shared, that was part of it, because apparently there are a lot of bases in New Jersey as well. So there was definitely something that went on that they didn't want to share with the public. But anyway, all of it worked out as a powerful like test and celebration for humanity. Because now it's so funny. There's been people sharing things like, oh yeah, there's aliens and up in the sky and there's drones in the backyard. What do you want for dinner? Like a lot of people aren't even like freaking out, or the people initially in New Jersey were, because there were so many of them and it was every night and it was interfering like with their lives and the noise because there was noise. If you think about like the big black helicopters that kind of come around and scam people, so can you imagine a large group of drones doing the same thing? That would pretty well freak out anybody.
Yeah,
but it seems to be a bit quieter now. But anyway, the test was successful, because even if there was like a fear mongering plan with a part of what was happening, it didn't work at all, right? This is interesting. We got foundations and homes, and we got the death card. Okay, so they're letting me know like life will never be what it was before this happened. So we've moved into the timeline now of disclosure.
Like it's shifting. Yeah.
We've shifted now.
There's a comment from the chat. Phil from Cosmic Voices 333. He said that he wants to know if you think that he wants me to mention the Foo Fighters in World War II. You know, the alien ships that approach the fighter pilots and stuff. He says he thinks they might be the same beings as plasma beings. Like,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, I'll check in. That sounds good. I'll check into that. I just wanted to let you all know too, that just like the final overall thing was, we came from a position of like being in fear and keeping to ourselves and being told that we're not valuable, that we can't have peace on earth, that we all can't be abundant. Nope, that's over. Game over. Accelerated motion. This is like my big Lionsgate card for the Starseeds. So there's like the Sirius star system, the Galactic Alliance in the sky, and it says accelerated motion. Guess what? That is number 8. Today is the 8th. Wow. There we go. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same. I didn't even hear that story, so that's cool. I learned so much when I'm on here too. It doesn't, because I feel like these beings are timeless. The technology is timeless. Like it goes slow down here, but in other, like if we go back in time, absolutely, because that's just a timeline shift. And I also know during that time frame that there was a lot of technology that was being acquired by a certain group in Europe with a leader with a mustache. And so they were working, different groups were working with different ET groups. Some of them, I would say that group is working with the dark ET group, and then absolutely. So they've been they've been our watchers. They've been watching over us through this process. Okay. So let me just ask if it was the same beings, which I've been told are from the Galactic Alliance, which is a group that I work with. Okay. Let me just see. So we're stepping into our power. We're stepping into our power. I'm hearing the story is real, and it was based, we got the foundation card again. So it was based on that foundation. So even that, I don't know when that information came forward, how long it's been known about, but that was a building. I mean, if we think about how long ago that was, right? There was radio, there was TV wasn't really around yet, or was it? I don't think it was. I think there was
it was probably just barely coming out, I would say.
It was radio and newspapers and movies, and that's all it was. So yeah, they're saying they were building a foundation all the way back then. And they were, guess what? We got the Choose Wisely card. So they were monitoring everything that was going on through that event. We'll call it an event in history. Yeah.
I love that. That's interesting. Yeah, that would make sense, right? That they would monitor that, and then look what they're doing now. You know, there's been sightings of these things over nuclear facilities. Like they're really interested in the nuclear weapons. You know, it almost seems like the ETs are like, you know what, enough's enough. This place has come to a boiling point. We need to step in, and I think they're starting to show that they can invade our airspace, and we can't do anything about it. You know, they can, it's like
so absolutely. And there are different kinds of groups, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to scan. I'll do that for our next show. I didn't get a chance to scan like the percentage of dark ETs that are still here, because I did that last show. But when I did a deep dive on my channel, maybe 3 weeks ago, I got that some of the drones were working as an alliance with not all of them, because I think everybody said, oh, the drones are out, let's just go fly our drones. But I feel like there was a group of them that were working on behalf of the alliance, that were searching for beings that were hiding underground, that were dark ETs. Okay.
Yeah.
Plus what you just shared too about, yes, they're multidimensional. They can zip. I mean, they can zip across the sky. By the time you and I blink, they're over on the other side of the planet. Like and they've got fleets everywhere. So I feel like whatever was going on escalated, and they all came in. Because when I first looked at the group, it was mainly like the Sirius ships as well as Arcturian. The next time I looked, it was also Lyran. Then the Palladians came in, and the Andromedans. So that's the Galactic Alliance to me. And they said to me, they're not going anywhere. So that should take away some of the angst about someone, which they've been holding this over my head my entire life. Someone's going to press that button and make everything go away. They're not allowed to do that. And the Galactic Alliance has like moved in now to monitor everything. So let's think about way back when there was a big accident in Japan and there was a threat of all that stuff coming all the way through the Pacific over to the west coast of North America. It never showed up because we didn't have the technology back then, but these ETs were already within there disabling everything and cleaning up what had happened. So they're not going to, until we get the people down here who are speaking truth to us, we're never going to get that information. But there were people that said, look, suddenly it got cleaned up in Japan and nothing got to Hawaii, nothing came to the West Coast. And yeah. By the way, I want to just say I sent out prayers to everyone that's dealing with the fires in California. Maybe Rob and I can look at that like next time, because I have a feeling it's very similar to Maui and Lahaina.
This is from Melisha Reddy on Rumble. On my Rumble. She says, "Hi guys, is the fog related to the LA fire?"
So Melisha, maybe you can help me with this. Have you guys had fog in the LA area for quite a while? Because I did get an email from a client saying that there had been fog off and on since November. I spoke too soon because I said, oh, there's no fog in Vancouver. Well, then the fog rolled in like 2 days later. So definitely I can pull some cards on it, but definitely I was getting that the drones are helping to facilitate fog in certain areas to cover things up in the sky so we can't see. They're also practicing in some areas with toxins like the chemtrails. So they've been practicing with that. And it's been different in different areas. Where I am, I always have a lot of cloud cover anyway and a lot of rain. So when the fog showed up, I thought that was kind of weird. And I did go out and look at it. I did go out and look at the, because I was feeling weird the afternoon that it came in. I went out and looked at it under a light and I didn't see any particles or anything, but there are people that have recorded, like, it looks like snow in the fog.
Wow.
So yeah, I would like to do maybe a little bit of, let's do that. What do we want to do? What do we want to do about the fog, Rob? What's a good question?
Ursula from the chat, she says we had the fog today. So I don't know where she's at, but Melisha said she's in South Africa, but I guess she was probably just wondering, like, you know.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were in California. If anybody's in California, let us know if you guys have had fog for a while.
Yeah, because I looked at on the internet and they said that the fog was in the UK. So the fog hit the UK, the fog hit Canada, the fog hit LA. You know, we haven't had it really that much here, but like, I'm wondering if it's to deter people. Like you said, if it's to make people look through the fog so they're not looking up at the sky, just maybe something else is going on. To, like, you know, I don't know. I think it's very strange to me. I can read you an article I found on. I found this while we were just, looking. Oh, well, I can't. I don't know where it went, but yeah, it was. People were calling it FogVid 24.
I saw that.
So here's what it says. It says those are alien spores. Internet reacts as FogVid 24, making people sick. Conspiracy marks alarm. Okay, it says the United Kingdom is experiencing a thick layer of fog that affected flights, trains, that runs of travel. In the wake of this incident, a conspiracy theory is circulated online. There's a regular but a chemical mist that has reportedly left hundreds of people sick with cold flu-like symptoms. Now being dubbed FogVid 24, Daily Mail reported that it is not seen only in UK, but parts of the USA, Canada, Florida, and Ontario. The term has been derived from, the other word. And it says people have had runny nose, fever, fatigue, and loss of energy, headaches, migraines, sore throat, and more. It doesn't say. Some people thought it was alien spores. I don't know. It's interesting for sure. I don't really have an opinion. I don't know enough. I don't know. I'm
getting okay. So as you were talking to me, I pulled some cards, and I'm getting from the Alliance. It's not them. The Alliance is not releasing the fog. It's the dark ETs because they're still here. So it's interesting because I pulled some galactic cards as well. And every time I get the Orion system, like it's representation of the dark ETs. Nothing to do if you're from the Orion system. It doesn't mean that. It's just like that seemed to be the area where everybody was getting recycled to. And the messages are deep polarity and delusion of control. So I will share with you what I felt over the holidays it was such a high vibrational energy that was coming in, and the dark ETs started on every level to pull all of us off of our high energy. Some of you might have gone through energy attacks. Some of you might have gone through arguments with friends and family. Some of you may have gone through like a dark night of the soul kind of thing. Okay, so I got like the foundation, which is us here on earth, and the devil card came in. Yeah. So it wasn't so we have to think about different groups, right? So the galactic battle is still ongoing. There's still forces down here on the planet that do not want your commander-in-chief to go into office, that don't want us all to change to a new timeline, because then, they can't stop it. Humanity is waking up, which is why the presence of the Galactic Alliance and the plasma orbs have come in, because they're the watchdogs as well. Okay. So the call was made to do this in various areas by the beings that still think that they're in charge of the planet, both on and off planet, and it will clear out. And we can check. I'll be back with Rob in a couple of weeks. We can check into it again. But I got that it was to slow humanity down. So they're testing out things. They're testing out toxins. They're testing out, we don't want people to be taking videos about what's going on in the sky and telling everybody else on the planet. So let's bring the fog in. And I will tell you what you shared, Rob, in that article. When that fog came in really thick 2 days ago, I did not feel well. I actually thought there was a big solar flare that had come in. I felt feverish and achy. And so if you all have that, if you have symptoms, if you've got a lot of dense fog in your area, make sure you're not spending a lot of time out in it, and that you're doing things to help you breathe better. Take a doubling up on your vitamin C, whatever you take for your immune system, because it's actually, it's a test going on, and it's not a nice one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, that's what I got.
Yeah, that one thing you wanted to talk about was first contact. So do you think, it's interesting, we had first night New Year's, and now we're bridging. But I wanted to bring up something before we bring up first contact. It's great, when we have the holidays, right from Thanksgiving to Christmas, it seems like such a great time. Even if we're not religious, it still gives you this excitement almost, and a feeling of joy. But then as soon as January hits, it gets darker faster. It gets it seems like the shit hits the fan in January for some reason. I don't know if that's because everybody's so high vibe during the holidays, and then it's a come down, and it gets colder and darker, and you know what I mean? Do you have an opinion on that, or what do you think? Well,
I'll pull some cards too. I feel like it's a couple of things. I want to tell you, the dark forces were on me in December, and I was in joy in November. I was already listening to Christmas music in November, and they were already on me. I woke up one day going, oh my God, they're trying to suck away my joy. I thought, forget it. So I put the Christmas music back on and just told them to get lost. But that's why I wanted to let you all know, if you had a good December, fantastic. They might be on you this month, because they're working their way through they're still sending out subliminal messages. They're still how can we get these people that are happy and joyful? Think about that cartoon. What was it? Horton Hears a Who? With Whoville, even when the Grinch stole Christmas, that's what I got. I got, oh my God, they made up the story the Grinch stole Christmas, and they want us all to be the Grinch, right? But in actual fact, we wake up the next day and we make a new choice to be joyful, right? I would say January is a little bit of a letdown initially, because we are so, we get to spend a little bit more time with friends and family in December, and we try to be a little bit more lighthearted. And I always like New Year's Day too, because I feel like it's a fresh start anyway, even if it's not accurate. I just like it. And it's a reminder, right? But then the thing is that there's the dark, the reality sets in, right, Rob? Oh, they're still here, right? They're still manipulating our calendar. They're still manipulating our clocks. We still don't have daylight. So let me pull some cards about if there's any other information we need to know about that. But I want to share with you all. It's like they kind of gave us a pause through Christmas. It sort of. But now it's like there was another cartoon where the dog and the coyote were like who was it? The coyote was hunting the sheep, but then the dog was watching out for the coyote, and then when they buzz out for the day, they're buddies. So think about that. We all got to pause, and then come the 1st, 2nd of January, it's like it's unpaused. The game is unpaused, right? So. And also, like astrology wise, Mercury just moved into Capricorn. So it just moved into your energy, Rob, and more about, so we may have all felt a little bit deflated in December and up until now about we don't have any energy. We don't have any motivation. It just feels like one day is the same as the other. And that's going to start shifting as of today as well. Okay.
No, that's interesting. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, to know that, I feel exactly that too. So you wanted to talk about first contact. What do you think is going to happen with that? Like, do you think we're due for first contact? I mean, we already have the contact, right? The experiencers are already being sought out by, the extraterrestrials. But like, when we say first contact, you mean like, like out in the open, right? Like,
yeah. I'll pull some cards about that. Before we go forward, I just pulled one card, just as you were asking about that for January. So I got many souls are still in their rest and rejuvenate period right now.
Yeah.
So it's that the collective does not want to come back from Christmas, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. So that's what we're feeling. We feel a lot of collective energy in the sense that not everybody wants to be back to work and being serious yet. So there is a little bit of a lull, but it's going to start to pick up for sure as of today. Okay. So your question was the first contact. So I asked, we'll pull some cards on it. I had asked, they basically said it's going to keep accelerating. And by May, I haven't looked at the astrology for May yet. We could have eclipses in May, but by May, it's going to be in everyone's face.
Oh,
so
wow.
There's going to be no more cover-ups. And there'll probably actually be a lot more information that comes out before then from your commander-in-chief as well. There'll be a lot more disclosure. It's going to be a complete 360 to how it has been. So but the thing is that in the countries that don't have that or don't want to believe him, they're going to be there anyway. They're going to be regular folks going, hey, did you see the I posted it on my social media, right? So that we already see there was an announcement yesterday with the Meta products that they're going to start pulling back from their suppressing of information, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that is great because that's now we have Twitter as a free platform, Rumble, Facebook. They just got to work on YouTube,
Yeah, and it probably just depends on who owns those products. And I know there was a thread about TikTok, whatever people think about that or not. I'm back on TikTok because I don't know if you all know, but here in Canada, Rob just even tried to send me a Zoom link on Messenger. Nope. Like they put a bill through where we can't hardly post anything on those platforms.
Wow.
So that's what I mean. Like I was, so that we need to be free from. Because what they did,
that's crazy,
right? So they reversed our freedom of speech. Like if you can't even send an article or a link to somebody on Messenger, like come on.
That's not free speech. That's
2025. We need to move forward with the rest of everybody, right? Okay.
That's tyranny, is what that is. That's real tyranny.
Well, and you know what? So I mentioned it to a few of my family members at Christmas. They had no idea. And they also then they said, oh, I don't use those platforms. So that's interesting to me. That was interesting. The other thing I want to share with you is at the Christmas dinner table, I just sort of plopped the whole story about the drones out there. Yeah. A bunch of them knew about it.
Wow.
So I thought that was cool. They're all like, oh yeah, we heard about the drones, right? It's so crazy. So, all right. So let me look at, let's just ask the cards and they'll give me information too. What do we need to know about disclosure for this year, besides the fact that they gave me May will be the huge. So basically, and I think there's a clip I've reposted on TikTok, a message from Bashar that was channeled in, I don't know how many months ago, where that's what he said. He said, you're going to just start seeing us. We're going to be in the sky. We're going to be over the oceans. We're just all going to be hanging out there, not threatening, but just to get humanity used to the fact that we're here and you're not alone. Okay. Which will make everybody happy when they know that they're not being threatened. Right. Okay.
Yes,
So I got root
exactly.
chakra. So that's, they're still saying there's still too much of the collective that's in their root chakra about it, in fear. Doesn't mean that they don't want to see them, but they're going to have to work through that. So there's still a few obstacles and challenges right now. But oh my God, this is so exciting. So, okay, they're saying by June, everyone's third eye will be at a frequency where they actually can see them, like not the illusion, right? Because I think some people still aren't even seeing them, Rob, because they're not out of the lower chakras yet. They're not out of the fear and stress. Like I've seen some really weird posts of like, oh, they're all, if you think about the movies have always portrayed them, right? Independence Day, the big ship coming over the Capitol, and big thing happening. So that's how they've portrayed them. Oh, you know what I watched over the holidays that I hadn't watched for years? Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, that's a great movie. That's a great movie. I love that
movie.
movie. With Richard Dreyfuss, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, he was so young in that movie. Holy moly. So I thought I probably haven't, it came out in 77. I thought I probably haven't seen it since then. So it was super interesting because it basically showed that the people who could see it and were impacted by it all came together, and they didn't listen to the government. They just went and found the ship anyway, right? Okay, so with everyone being in fear, we got the King of Cups. So it's being monitored. That's why it's coming forward slowly. The obstacles and challenges right now are because of the energy of everyone that's still in charge, like behind the scenes, even of the people that are running the countries. So that obstacles and challenges, they still have some right now about wanting to disclose all the information. But by June, a new commander-in-chief in your country, and that's going to be the wave of like, he doesn't hold back. So there'll be no holding back anymore. This is what I know. This is what's here, right? There's going to be like big pieces coming out. And by June, more people are going to be able to see it and understand it. Okay. So that's good. And we could check into that again next show as well, for sure.
Wow. Well, we've only been going 47 minutes. I have about 7 minutes. I have about 7 to 10 minutes left. I mean,
okay.
We could do an hour if you want. I mean, should we do a couple readings or something? Would you want to do
like
that?
why don't you see if there's some questions with the audience, see how everybody's doing?
Yeah. Instead, if anybody wants either a reading or if somebody, it'd be better. I mean, questions are good because then we can talk about the topics. Like I think that's a good question. Like, if somebody has a question about anything we talked about today, the drones, the plasma, the fog, first contact, how your holidays and stuff like that, and I don't know what else. Whatever else you guys want to bring up, we can talk about whatever.
So why don't you search through the comments, Rob? So you know what I did? I did do like a little mini reading for all of us. So while you're looking, I'll just do that. I just asked the cards, like, what do we need to know today for till we next show up? Like, what's going on right now? So this is interesting. I only have one dark ET card in this deck. I got the Anunnaki. So just to let you all know, they're still here, trying to separate us all and pit us all against each other, including, look at, what happened to Rob yesterday, but here we are, smiles on our faces. Grateful that we can still be on all these different platforms. It's all good. It's going to get resolved. And so anyway, what I love about what says on this card, end of a cycle. So the days are numbered for this energy. Like they're grasping at straws to find any way they can to bring us down, and their days are numbered. We're also going through we're going through all of us are going through kind of a life review right now. Maybe you're still reviewing what happened last year. You're trying to figure out what you want to do this year. So you can rewrite your story any single day. We don't need New Year's Day. I just always liked it because it was a fresh start of a new year, but you guys can rewrite your story every single day. So every day is a Groundhog Day. Every day is a fresh start, co-creating with the universe, and the overall message is to live your truth. And I would say really focus this year on what brings you joy, and how can we better make this a better place for all of us. Okay. And then the final message is soul star activation, which is, I see the Merkaba right there. So as our bodies are rebuilding in light and the rebuilding in plasma, our travel stations, our Merkabas are rebuilding. But right now, the main message is you're remembering who you are. So we are multidimensional galactic hybrids, right? And most of our friends and family also have starseed lineage, but many of them have been here and been through the recycle process for thousands of years that they don't remember it. And those are the people that are in fear about disclosure. Yeah.
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
100%. The Andromedan had a question. He said he wants to know if he's really from a breakaway civilization. He wants to know if he was born there.
I'm trying to
I
remember
don't
what
know.
his last question was about an interesting planet that I never heard of. Okay, Andromeda, I need more information. Breakaway civilization in what way? Because that would describe all of us right now. We're all breaking out of the matrix, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
oh, Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot had the fog flu for 2 days. There you go.
Wow.
Got proof right there. Okay, I'm going to just pull a couple of cards for you, Andromeda, and just see what's the best information that you need to know right now. I would say as a starseed, we're all from breakaway civilizations, or we've been on the run as well, right? So let me just see what the best information is for you today. Gaia Gateway Activation. So right off the bat, Andromeda, you have great wisdom within your soul. You're connected to the earth, which is why you're here. And you also came here for more wisdom as well. Let's see what else wants to come in for you. You got the Anunnaki. That's interesting. So what's so interesting about this is that Rob and I have talked about this before. We all have a percentage of connection with the dark ET races because they've been here for thousands of years. So if we reincarnated, they've imprinted on us in some way, or it could be ancestral, or we could have chosen on a soul level to have an experience with that race off planet, right? So you're connected to the Anunnaki as well, Andromeda, which is not a bad thing. That's interesting, right? Because that came in. You're very connected to the ascension light codes coming in from the central sun systems, and they're saying that you're here and you're recouping, you're regenerating. It's almost like you were on a mission and you came here. You came here like believe it or not, some of us came here to rest before we go home, right? I'm going to pull some galactic cards for you as well, Andromeda, and just see what else wants to come in. Okay, so you are, yeah. So I'm just confirming you are fully a starseed. You did come in. I have the Sirius system here. You did come in to help humanity. Even you being here on the show and asking questions, because I'm sure you were on a few shows asking questions. So you did come in with the idea. So I would say from your question, you broke away from one timeline in reality. You've come here. And then, yes, you're a galactic starseed. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but a lot of people are souls, starseeds. We have a lot of galactic origins. We're not just, not just connected to like the Andromedan system. There's like millions of planetary bodies out there. But we all did agree to come here and have this experience, just like all of us being on this live today. We came here to agree to have this experience. And by the way, this is our year, everyone. That's why I put Starseeds 2025. This is the year where things start to really build momentum. And if you feel like you came in with new ideas, new philosophies to help the planet, this is your year to move forward with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing. Well, we had one more question. Legatus97 on Rumble. He wants to know if you could do a DNA reading on him, or
do you mean like does he want to know like his starseed?
He said he'd like an ET DNA reading. He says.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure what that.
Just hold on. They're giving me they're giving me the information. I'm getting the download. Hold on. And then I'll pull some cards for you as well. Okay, so what's the largest percentage? Okay, I'm getting, so you've got a few. I'm getting 45% Andromedan, 29% Sirius star system, and 20% Palladian. And the rest would be like galactic hybrid. But let me pull some cards for you too. So I had an really interesting session with a client yesterday because I know my deep core is Andromedan, but it moves around, right? Like we all picked a star seed origin close to planet Earth to be like our base. And those light ships are all of them, like Andromedan light ships are here close now as well. But even though I have a high percentage of Andromedan, I'm not as drawn to the Andromedan light ships right now. Like I don't feel the need to go and spend time with them. I actually recently I've gone back to working with the Palladians. So that's super fascinating to me. And that's from
interesting. Like do you go on ship, do you feel?
Well, I do because I request it.
Wow.
That's how I'm so happy and joyful, Rob. I go have meetings on ship.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like
so sometimes they let me remember. A lot of times I go to meetings to on behalf of all of you to explain how crazy it is down here, that we need resources and all of that. And sometimes I go for healings. And I started that really early on when the Palladians first came to me many, many years ago. They would come to me and give me a healing, but then I started to request to go to their light ship. So I don't often remember it, but I do often feel much more peaceful when I wake up. That's for sure. Okay.
I love that. Yeah.
So
they're cool.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, what was that person's name again that we just did the reading for?
Legatus 97. He would like a reading.
Okay. So I gave you like 20% Palladian, 45% Andromedan, 29% Sirius. So I just pulled some galactic cards. You're very much connected to not only the Lyran system, but the Vega system. So the Vega system is part of the Lyran system, but it split off before it got obliterated by the AI takeover. It is a very spiritual reality. You might start seeing the word Vega. That's what I started to see years ago. I started to see the word Vega everywhere. It was a very high frequency spiritual community as well. So that would be another percentage. You're part of the Vegan system. And then of course, then you also got confirmation about the Palladian system. Number 89, open contact. So I just recently asked Source, because we have many different like origins and we have many different higher selves, because they're all multidimensional. So that's why I started asking Source like who I should work with. And when I started working with the archangels. I started working with Archangel Michael a long time ago, but who works on behalf of Source, not the false matrix version. But what I wanted to share with you is I started with the Palladians, and I find it so interesting that I'm reconnecting with that Palladian energy for this year. So my question to Source over the holidays was, what version of my higher self can help me have the most awesome 2025 and not deal with these yahoos that are trying to take away my joy? And I got Palladian. And that was mind-blowing to me because that's where I started. So the moral of the story was I was like Dorothy going through the Wizard of Oz. I had to experience all the dark ETs, so I understood about them. And now it's like, bye-bye, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know if I told you, I saw that movie on the big screen. The movie, I never went to the movies in years, and one of my cousins wanted to go see Wicked, and he's younger, so we the family went to see Wicked for the day after Thanksgiving. And what was interesting about that movie is they make the witch out to be she's kind of like she's the adversary to the wizard, and you find out that like she's got all the magic, and the wizard is like he's a puppeteer pulling the strings behind a curtain, and he's controlling Oz like that. So it's kind of like a metaphor for like the controllers really have no magic, and we have all the magic. That's what I took from that movie. You know what I mean? And I think that's so true because they say that the controllers like leech off of our creative energy, and we're creator beings. We're here to
We
create,
are.
and like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's the metaphor for us waking up as well. Because if we think about even the Wizard of Oz, it was Toto that pulled the curtain back to realize that the wizard that they were all afraid of had no powers whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've seen the play twice. It's just been a while. But
that's cool. You saw the play.
Yeah, I saw last time I saw the play was in New York, which was super cool. Because I'm such a Wizard of Oz fan. But I did get, like, that's what I liked about it, was they showed the buildup of how they met, how they, you know, evolved over time. And yeah, the Wicked Witch of the West, she just got fed up. She just got pissed off.
I'm not a big fan of like Hollywood actors, but Ariana Grande did a really good job in that movie. But like, you know, somebody was saying in the community, that in the SSP community, that she's a handler because, you know, she was with Mac Miller and he died, and like, you know, like, so she could be tied to like some weird stuff. We should do a whole episode where we get into like Hollywood personalities and what they can be tied to and stuff. That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
you know?
there's a lot of that going on right now. Like, even I deep dived a little bit into Liam Payne from One Direction last November. He came to me, so I deep dived for him twice, and then Matthew Perry before that. And apparently they were friends, which I didn't know. I didn't know anything about Liam Payne or One Direction. I missed the whole thing, missed the whole boy band thing. But he came to me because apparently one of my gifts is I can communicate with people who have passed, and he's come to a lot of different people. But I've learned so much just even from his passing about handlers, and you know who had surrounded him in the end, which was nobody that was watching out for him. That was for sure. So they seem to. I'm almost wondering too if we go back to when they all get into the business, whether it's music or Hollywood, whether they get selected to go through certain experiences. And if they actually, when they sign their contract, if they don't read the fine print, they can say, oh, if you don't do A, B, and C, then we're going to take you away, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I've heard I think that's going to be part of the truth coming out this year too, is about the whole, how that's been fake too. So Hollywood has been the curtain with the wizard behind it. Like, there's been, you know, I think initially it started out a little bit magical, but then it just started, they realized it was a way to control the masses as well, right?
Yeah.
And the people that are involved in it, that's part of their journey. They've had handlers and all sorts of things. So yeah, it's hard to say, right?
Yeah.
I just pulled a couple of cards for you, Rob. Do you want to see what I pulled?
Yeah, that'd be great for my birthday. Yeah, because guys, if you don't know, my birthday's Saturday, so I'm excited. I'll be turning 45 years old. You know,
yay. So which we all know getting older is an honor. We understand that now, right?
I'm doing shows for my birthday too. I'm going to have Misha Johnson on that night, and I think me and Missy. So Misha Johnson will be pulling cards that night too. And then Missy Hill and me are going to do the show later on. So, I mean, I'll do something for my birthday too, but I don't do much. I don't go out or anything. You know what I mean? I'm kind of a dork, you know, like I don't.
Okay. So what's interesting is, so everything that you just went through yesterday, even though it was interference, we got some of the dark ET cards came in, but you're divinely protected. So even this break right now is from that platform, is you're actually being protected, because let's say everyone that you're having on the next 2 weeks might be getting into really deep topics that may have had an opportunity for them to just take you off completely. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are being protected, and look at you already. You jump back up, going onto different platforms, so that's cool. Your starseed origin that's coming forward right now is Lyran. So that's that very powerful cat energy. You're also very like, you observe everything and you're very open to everything. Lyrans have been are very powerful, intelligent starseeds. But we've been through a lot, and we've been tracked and interfered with. And I feel like that's even some of what's come forward, is they found you to irritate you. So you be remembering they're the Grinch. you're not, and you can still make good out of everything that's coming forward anyway, which is good. You're also, this is interesting, you got the Hathor light codes as well. So you're doing exactly what you should be doing right now. You should be reclaiming your power, which is a very Lyran aspect too. So reclaim and call your power back. Just, you pick yourself up, you brush yourself off. Before you know it, the 2 weeks will be, by the time you and I meet next, you'll be back on YouTube.
Yeah, hopefully, right? Hopefully they don't take down my hook channel, but I feel like you're right. Hopefully I'm protected, you know.
So,
And I agree,
so what you do is every single day you affirm that your channel is back on YouTube.
Yeah.
In the present. You just keep affirming that every single day. And
Yeah.
miracles will happen, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
for the people that don't know, I put in five years. This is almost my 6th year I've been doing podcasting, you know. It's been a lot of hard work and a lot of a lot of effort that I put in, you know. It's like it was you know, to lose all that would be like crazy, you know.
Yeah, and a lot of your I can't think of the human word. A lot of your people that were on YouTube, a lot of people have been removed. I even saw a comment yesterday, somebody saying, Rob, I'm so happy you're still there, right? So it's just it's interesting times right now. I mean, I know that you're so great at bringing out information for everyone, and I don't think you were the only one that got that yesterday. I feel like there was a whole group of people that got picked for, oh, they're going to be bringing way too much truth forward, but it doesn't matter. You're bringing it forward on other platforms, and that's the thing. We all have to just keep rolling with punches. But anyway, happy birthday for Saturday.
It was really cool to be able to come on your channel, you know, even though I'm suspended. Like, you know, it was cool for you to still kind of put me on YouTube. You know, that was great. Like, you know, like, and you know, that, so a lot of people get to see this and they'll get to see that I'm suspended, and, you know, like, you know, I mean, that's awesome, you know, so thank you so much.
Well,
that really
you're
helps
welcome. Well, and we've been retraining everyone for Rumble anyway. I do watch a lot of content on Rumble. So we're retraining everybody to just think outside the box. And of course, we want you guys, you know, like Rob's going to be under the gun now because of that suspension. So, you know, buy his merch, donate to him, help him out so we can keep bringing out awesome podcasts.
Yeah, thanks. I was going to say, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get everybody to join my Patreon. It's like $3 a month for the lowest tier, and I'm going to start putting out a lot more exclusive content on there. But, like, you know, what that does is it guarantees me a little bit of income, and, you know, from the income I'm losing from YouTube, because I am suspended for 2 weeks and I am monetized on YouTube, which means, you know, I make, like, you know, decent, well, not decent money. I don't make a lot at all, but I mean, like, the money that I would make, I'll be losing from being suspended for 2 weeks. Like, you know, and everything goes down. Your watch time goes down. Your views, your everything. Like, it's like a tragedy to get suspended. You know, but I mean, I'm trying to, like, look past it. I'm trying to, like, you know, move on and you know, when I did that.
Do that, like, keep moving on. And the thing is that already you, like, I saw you today. Okay, I'm on X now, right? Like, you're not gonna be pushed down. The other thing is like, I really affirm for you that you can get like a website up and running where you can keep some content there and have a membership there, and everything's your own, and you don't have to worry about any of the platforms, right? That'd be a great, perfect scenario. Yeah.
That's what James Bartley does. He does half of his show on YouTube, then he puts the other half on, you know, subscribers. So, like, maybe I should do something like that, you know?
Yeah. Well, because then you would have, you would have people, like, you would have control over your information, and it would be saved. So that's what happened to, okay, can't think of his name. The British guy that talked about all the reptilians to begin with. And you interviewed his son. I'm just really bad today at people.
David Icke.
Yeah. So that's what happened. That's what made me wake up to, like, the next level of all of this, because I just found him, I think, during the lockdowns. Like, I thought, oh, I'll listen to what he's saying. And then within a month, he was gone, and he was never able to come back. So he had already knew it was coming. He probably was informed it was coming, and he created his own website and so I don't get to see him. I don't go to his website, but I know a lot of people do. But I do get to see him when he's interviewed on other people's shows, or there's a little clip, you know, from him. But that made me realize that a lot of the platforms were not playing the same way we all wanted them to play.
Yeah. It's sad. It's like that too. Once you find out that, like, that it wasn't even warranted, like when I look at my whole suspension, it wasn't even like, there was not, I mean, we've examined it, like the time stamps they've given, and it none of it makes sense. So I can't make heads or tails of why they make the decisions they make, So, but all I know is it taught me a lesson. I was just gonna say, it taught me that I have to look, like you said, to other places like X, Facebook, Rumble, and I have my stuff on Rockfin too. I don't post a lot there, but I'll even post there a little bit just to keep another backup somewhere. And and that's all I can do,
I think it's not just you, Rob. I was getting that we all kind of have to diversify a little bit this year and have a couple of different streams coming in, because something could get shut down. Something could happen.
And that's a good thing to tell everybody this too. Both of us, you and I, we're both on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So guys, you can go listen to us there. Listen to our audio podcast too. Listen to the Pink Bella audio podcast on Spotify, and listen to my audio podcast on Spotify. It's a great way to binge watch episodes. You can listen to multiple episodes at once and not be bothered. I know mine have ads on them, but I mean, it's not that bad. The ads aren't that bad. So, and it helps me if you listen to audio.
And I'm building out my Rumble and my TikTok. So if you guys want to follow me there too, that would be great. Yeah. I mean, I have a presence on the Meta products, but you and I both know, can't really say, up until now, we haven't been able to really say very much. So
What's your name on TikTok? How do I find you on there?
I think it's the same. I think it's AlohaPinkBella.
Okay, because I'm gonna find you on TikTok now, because I'm on there too, but I only post like the thumbnails from my shows. Like that's all I've been posting lately,
Well, I've been reposting really cool UFO and UAP stuff from other content creators. So I'm not creating as much of my own stuff right now, but I am I'm doing a lot of research on there, and I'm reposting a lot of information for everyone. So that's really cool to me, because then I can go back and find it. So there's lots. So that's how I know the fog is global. That's how I know the UAPs and the UFOs are global, because everybody from around the world is posting there. Oh, and by the way, everyone, I know there was a concern about it being dismantled in the USA and Canada. My understanding is that there are private talks that are going on right now to change ownership. Let's just put it that way. So it's going to be okay, because right now it's not just the USA and Canada, it's everywhere on the planet. People are scrambling to find platforms to share the truth, and everyone only can share the truth so long, and we haven't talked about this. We could talk about it next time as well. But the AI technology, there's two agendas going on. There's really positive AI, like Rob's used ChatGPT, and I've looked into a little bit. If we're feeding it positive information, that's what it creates. But there's also a negative accelerated agenda with other versions of AI that they, as an example, on the platform, they're scanning us all the time. They're scanning our words, what we type, what we share, and that they might have something that says, if you talk about this thing 3 times, then you get taken. You know what I mean? So it's not just by somebody sitting at a desk listening to videos anymore. They're using technology for the benefit, and there's 2 teams still on the planet. Like, it's the dark versus the light. So that's still going on. So we're just being shown, okay, right now that platform is not exactly where we all want it to be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But now that Rob and I met today, I'm going to get my X platform back up and running as well. But yeah, please follow me over on TikTok for sure. I'll be doing more content there. I want to do a live there as well. And yeah, excited.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Pink Bella. I always enjoy meeting. I really consider you a really good friend, and I always enjoy meeting with you. These are always so much fun. Really, they really are. I'm glad we made it a tradition, because I look forward to it.
Me too. I look forward to it too. So I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, I'll see you 2 weeks. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody. Take care, everyone. Bye.